Greetings and salutations, all you fine feathered fictionites out there. It's not necessarily on screen this time. Damn. In any event, welcome to another disturbing installment of Disinformed Fan Friction. I'm Shane.
I'm John.
I'm Michael.
I'm Courtney.
And in case you don't know, we are the ever so popular hosts of the increasingly stalwart show, the Disinformed Podcast, which wings your way on your preferred podcast provider app every marvelous Monday morning. We talk about random esoteric nonsense and we lie about it. It's a lot of fun. You should check it out if you haven't already. But what we are going to do here is we are going to continue our inglorious delve into the world's worst bloody fan fiction. And this is on the board. It's the hinterlands of being worse than My Immortal. I'm just going to go ahead and throw that out there just on concept alone. But this is Ben Shapiro's glorious What's Fair and other claptrap, I think.
Yeah. Short stories, claptrap, they're interchangeable.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys ready?
I was born ready, motherfucker. I'm karate like a motherfucker.
So we are starting on part 3 because we did both parts 1 and 2.
Yes, 3 comes after 1 and 2. Thank you.
And apropos that we were talking about wrestlers this week because we might have 1 or 2 on the call.
Oh, that's right.
Brother.
Part 3. As much time as he had spent in the office, he was now spending in the barn, messing with our mechanical plow. Every time I'd go in there, he'd be underneath the thing, a hammer or a wrench in his hand, bashing away at the thing, tightening something here, screwing something there.
Oh, Mom.
One time I signed a check at the grocery and we were overdrawn. Another time, the mortgage man came down the road and asked if we needed more time on the payment. We didn't. Jim had just forgotten to pay him. Even Em was getting worried about his absent-mindedness. And with Jim out of control, everything spun out of control. Soon, Em was having to take care of the finances, which meant that I was having to take care of Mom. And I was still working the fields. Meanwhile, Jim was obsessed with that machine. One day, it was hot as blazes outside. So hot that the sweat would dry on your forehead and then break out again until you felt like you didn't have any moisture at all left inside of you, just like my wife. I was out in the field as usual.
I'm sorry, I tried letting you do it. I couldn't. That broke me.
I was out in the fields as usual, and Jim was in the barn, cool as a cucumber. He'd even brought a little air unit air conditioner out there with him.
I need to keep my head clear, brother.
Told Em. The heat was so soggy that the waves were coming off the ground like gas out of an oven. I stopped for a moment to wipe my forehead. That's when I looked up at the house. It was burning. I hollered at the top of my lungs for Jim to get in there and find out what the hell was going on. Jim didn't answer. I hollered again. Silence from the barn. My first thought was that a fuse must have busted in the house, but when I sprinted towards the house, I could see that smoke was coming from inside the house, from Jim's old room.
The call was coming from inside the house.
The killer's one of us.
Oh no.
I'm very sus about this.
I busted in the house like I was breaking through a defensive line and rammed my way upstairs. There was Mom in the bed and her sheet was on fire.
Oh my God.
Her sheet is on fire. Sorry.
And her sheet was on fire.
Jimmy! Sorry. I got too excited with the on fire reference.
Yeah, that
Jimmy.
Yeah.
Was that an improvement?
Yes, because I got into character.
If you were, in fact, able to act with your voice, we'll take it from 1. There was Mom in the bed and her sheet was on fire.
Jimmy.
I hollered, but it was Em who came to help me. She rushed in with a bucket of water and doused Mom and the bed. I grabbed an old dress and started whacking away at the fire. Pretty soon, between the two of us, we'd put it out.
Yeah, he's good at whacking.
Especially when Mom's involved.
I sat there panting for a minute. Mom was sitting there holding a box of matches and crying. She didn't know what she was doing, and I started to get mad. I ran down the stairs. Em called after me. I didn't care. I went outside and headed for the barn. Sure enough, Jim was under that plow again. I stood there for a minute, then 2, twice, 3 times the lady. It must have taken the bastard 5 solid minutes to notice me. When he did, he got out from under the plow, stood up, gave a kind of little smile, and asked what was wrong. And I knocked him flat on his ass.
Listen, Jim,
Said to him,
you've been having it your way all this time, but some things are gonna change. You've been king of this place our whole life, but I've had enough of it. I want my piece.
he looked at me and I could see he really didn't understand what was going on. Here was this smart guy, and all of a sudden he was playing stupid. I started to holler again.
I'm out there busting my hump to bring in the bread, and you're sitting here underneath this damn machine all day long, tinkering with nothing.
I could see Jim starting to get mad. It took a lot to get Jim mad. He looked distant behind his eyes somehow, like he was hiding behind a wall. His eyes would kind of go cold and his fists would clench and unclench. He stood up and stared at me. The vein in his forehead was popping out.
Let me tell you something, Tommy.
He said,
You don't do anything of importance around here. You think I need you to run this place? I could hire a field hand for a quarter of the price. I'm doing it out of charity for you. You've never held down a real job, brother. You're still going on and on about your days back in high school, and nobody cares anymore. I produce.
the spark in his eyes was beginning to return. I knew this meant he was especially mad.
You aren't worth anything. You've got no education. You've got no prospects. You don't have a world championship belt. You know what Dad told me before I left high school? He said, look after Tommy if anything happens, Jimmy. He can't take care of himself. So what do you think I've been doing?
I started to talk, but he gave me a look that said, I better shut my mouth. He kept going.
You know what I've been doing around this barn all this time? Trying to make something for myself and for M, sure, but mostly I've been trying to take care of you. Still, even though you're a sullen and you're lazy and you're ungrateful and you think somehow I've cheated you. Even though I spent years helping you with your homework, teaching you the rules of football, telling you to say your prayers and take your vitamins. Hell, I even got that man from state to come see you play. But when this thing makes us $1 million, I'm planning on sending you back to college so you can make something of yourself. But if you want to leave, you pick up and get the hell out of here, brother.
He pointed at the door. I left. When I looked back, he was under that plow again.
He's back under the plow again.
And that's your best character voice.
That's terrifying. Okay.
Well, we're not opposed. One more.
Indeed,
chapter.
indeed. What you gonna do?
There are a total of 5 parts, if I recall correctly.
Total of 5.
It's a short story, as is the title states.
Okay, guys, we're just gonna do it then.
I mean, it's up to you.
Okay, fuck it. We'll do
We'll
it.
do it live.
And
Part
under
4.
the plow.
There he was under that plow again.
Part 4. Part 4. I am
Hardcore part 4.
Hardcore part 4. About a week later, I heard something stir in the house in the middle of the night. I figured that maybe it was Mom, so I slipped on my pants and stepped into the hallway. Mom's light was out, but the light from downstairs, the kitchen, was on. I could hear Jimmy snoring in the other room and rattled the door to his room a little. I tiptoed downstairs. As I got closer to the kitchen, I could hear the sniffling. I nudged open the door, and sure enough, Em was sitting at a table with her head in her hands. I sat down next to her and asked her what was wrong.
I don't want any of this.
She said. Her snot was dripping a little, but she looked as beautiful as ever. She was wearing her robe, and it was just open just a little at the top. I could see her breathing.
Any of what?
I asked.
This.
She said.
I wanted to leave. I didn't want to have to take care of Mom or be a farmer's wife or watch my man start to lose his mind from being pent up in a little cage of a town.
She looked so beautiful with tears in her eyes, dripping down her face. I reached over and wiped them off with my big, meaty hand.
Oh, God.
Do you remember why I first brought you here?
I asked her.
Of course.
She said.
That's when I first met Jimmy.
I stumbled for the right words.
You know, I had a crush on you.
A frightened look crossed her face.
Whoa. I hadn't gotten to the part that I was trying to say.
I was editorializing.
Oh, God, he had a crush on me. You know,
I'm the one questioning here.
under the plow.
I go to sleep. I wear a sleep apnea mask.
Oh, I know how to plow, brother.
There's not enough oxygen in the soil. You know, I had a crush on you. Do you remember we almost...
Frightened look crossed her face.
No,
She finally answered.
I liked you a lot, Tommy, but never like that.
That struck me hard.
Sure you did.
Said.
If Jimmy hadn't been home...
I liked you a lot, Tommy.
She said again, like a woman.
He said the quiet part loud. Oh,
Everyone.
And you just did.
Ooh.
Oops.
Ugh.
True words have never been spoken.
Or written.
Uh,
But I liked a lot of guys. It was different with Jimmy.
I put my hand out and touched her arm. It didn't make any sense, but she pulled away. I got up and walked out of the house. Then I ran. I found myself in the woods. It was dark, all right, but I'd been in those woods many times, so I could see. I didn't know what I was looking for. Maybe I just needed to clear my head. The woods had grown over since I was a kid, and I stumbled on some tree roots, scraped up my arms pretty bad, cursed my own stupidity. How could I have said that to him? Humiliated myself like that. And how could she say that to me? She knew that she was lying to me and to herself. I remember holding her in my arms, and I remember Jimmy's smiling, smart face and her eyes turning up to meet his. The cold water rushing through my boots brought me back to reality. I'd walked right into the creek, and my feet were soaked. I'd be sloshing my way back home tonight, I thought. Then I saw it glinting there.
Oh, mama.
Then I saw it, Mama glinting there beneath a rock. Then I saw it, glinting there beneath the rock. It was like the movies. A beam of moonlight was hitting it just right. My hunting knife. I took it as an omen. It wasn't 2 days before Jimmy came running into the house around dinner time. Everything had been awkward in the house between me and them, but I'm not sure Jimmy had noticed anything. Now he came rushing into the kitchen. His hands were covered in grease.
Well, let me tell you something, brother. It works.
He whispered.
He doesn't
Good
have a
whispering.
quiet.
I killed the joke. I'm sorry. I couldn't compose myself, but do you need me to start over there?
Oh, I like
It's a good whisper. I like it.
it in character.
I was still going to yell it anyway. I just wanted to make sure we got the he whispered in there better. I laughed over it. It works.
He whispered.
It works.
He reached out and grabbed Em and whirled her around like a pinwheel. Her skirt flew up a little, and I looked away. He looked at me too, and his eyes were bright.
Tommy,
He said.
I want to show you this.
Em looked confused, but Jimmy grabbed me by the arm.
Come on, kid.
He said.
This is our fortune.
He led me to the barn. He stood next to the machine.
Now, Tommy,
I want you to look real closely, brother. You watch what I do. We're gonna have to sell these up and down the country, and I'm gonna need your help, brother. You can be my sales deputy. People like you, people all around here remember when you were scoring touchdowns.
He leaned over and kissed me openly on the mouth.
I like
He
where
leaned
this is
over.
going.
He leaned over and pushed the red button.
You hit this button,
He said.
and that gets the motor going, brother. Now you look underneath.
I squatted and I saw a whole newfangled blade system. Sorry. I squatted and I saw a whole newfangled blade system underneath the plow. It was jumping and shaking in a queer way.
That aerates the soil better, brother. You have to know how it works. You gotta pump it. You gotta know just what it does.
He hopped over to me like a jackrabbit and grabbed me by the arms.
Kiddo, we're all set. From here to the flood. You're a junior partner in the firm, and we're headed right to the top.
His smile was infectious. I could feel myself smiling too. And then the knife was up under his ribs. He looked so confused for a minute. I was confused too. Then the blood started to gurgle from his mouth and I pushed it back. And the machine was still bucking and shaking and my legs went out from under him. And before he could say or do anything, my foot came out from under me and kicked him in the ribs. And he grunted and he rolled into the machine he loved and the ground was covered with his blood. He didn't say anything. He didn't scream, but M did when I came in the house covered with his blood.
There he is under the plow again.
It aerates the soil.
So what you gonna do when my plow puts holes in you?
And I see that this is not a very Courtney forward story, considering that Shapiro doesn't write more than one female character per story.
Hey, they had mom.
Oh,
They did have mom.
well,
Just-
He didn't start the fire.
sorry, Mom. Sorry, God.
Indeed.
Part 5. After the funeral, the police came to see me, but there was nothing to say about it. He'd been mashed up by the machine, so there's no evidence. They just said it was too tough for me to go through this now that I was responsible for Mom and Em and asked what I would do, and I told them that it was okay. I had a way to take care of things. That afternoon, I drove over to the big agricultural machinery store to see the boss, Mr. Ebsen. I told him about our new specially aerating mechanical plow and showed him some of Jimmy's papers from his desk. His eyes lit up. He asked if he could come out and see it. I told him I'd give him a ride. I'd even come out myself.
Hot.
When we got to the barn, I didn't even hesitate. It was quiet in there, which I wasn't used to, but I knew that my fortune was lying inside, and I knew that all I needed to do was hit the little red button.
Now watch, if you please, sir, Mr. Ebsen.
I said in my best fancy voice.
You are about to see the machine that will revolutionize American agriculture.
And I hit the button. And nothing happened. I could feel the sweat start up under my collar.
Now, hold on, Mr. Ebsen.
I said. I got down on my hands and knees and I crawled underneath the machinery that had killed my brother. It was still rust-colored from his blood. I hadn't cleaned it off yet. I don't know what Jimmy had done under there, but it didn't look like any normal plow. It was totally changed by all of its blood. So I hit it.
He's not wrong.
It was
You
totally
can't kill Hulkamania, brother.
You can grind up the whole body, but you can't grind up the bones. You can't aerate them.
The bones. My holes.
Oh,
my holes in the plows. It was totally changed. So I hit it a couple times with the wrench, then got out and smiled.
let me try again, Mr. Ebsen.
I said. I hit the button again, and again, nothing happened. Mr. Ebsen looked at me and shrugged.
Well,
He said,
you're a bit of a simpleton, ain't you, son? Sorry.
he said,
When you get it working again, you come and let me know. I think we can do business together.
he walked towards the door.
And I saw about your brother. He was a genius with those things.
Then he was gone. I walked back to the house. It was empty except for Mom. Em was gone too. And I'll tell you right now, it wasn't fair. None of it. I just didn't have the breaks Jimmy had. I wasn't born smart like him. I didn't get the attention. I didn't get the luck or the girl. So now I'm sitting here messing with this damn contraption, and I've got Jimmy's rusty blood on my hands, and mom's in the house waiting for me, and the house is awful quiet. The end. Boom. The best short story ever fucking written. Do you love me now, Mom?
I
well,
feel
when
like
she's not trying to drown herself or light herself on fire, yeah, she likes you plenty.
I like also the Freudian slip of you reading I didn't get the,
Get the
attention, as
attention.
opposed to saying I didn't get the education. But yeah.
Where's that? Oh, Shane, you of all people should know how hard it is to try and read super fast.
Yes, I do.
I feel like
You nailed it.
I was gonna say, I feel like between last episode and this one, I hardly missed a beat on
No.
as fast as I could.
Yes. You got to drive it till the wheels fall off, my friend, and you did just that.
Do you think it took him like fucking 10 months to write one short story? And then he's like, "Cool, I can move on. I can do the next one now."
This is brilliant stuff here. They're gonna love me. This is what's finally gonna get me to see AOC's feet.
Yeah. To shut his wife up. He's like, I cannot come have sex with you right now. I'm too busy researching for my short story. I need to know if the plow is realistic. I need to know if the red button would work.
Just got to hit the red button.
Hit that red button.
Take the
Michael,
blue pill.
And what was this story based on again?
So I gathered that it is a Cain and Abel sort of biblical allegory.
See, I thought with wrestling it should have been, Kane and the Undertaker, but
stop the damn match. Well, he didn't stop the damn match, even if he had a family.
I just love that Ben Shapiro's writing this, and he's like, "This could be an A24 movie." Like he's like, take this and turn it into a script, and A24 would pick this up.
Well, this was written in 2015, if I recall correctly. So
like, Spring Breakers is a fucking hit. I want to jump in. I want to get out of politics and the shitty conservative show.
This is my break.
And Hulk Hogan's just waiting around to get cast in another opportunity. So
yeah, now that he's done with the Gawker whole situation,
I mean,
throw him in the ring, man. He's ready to go.
Many cinematic forays with the Hulkster that we just don't want to touch.
How does one get out of the Gawker hole? That's what I want to know.
Yeah. How does one approach the sunrise?
Right under that plow. That's where it is.
Time keeps plowing into the future.
I was going to say, let's dodge the copyright, but I'm still going to sing it. Call Mr. Plow, because that's my name. That name again is Mr. Plow.
Oh, so that's your friend in the plow over there, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Well, fuck you, Michael.
Indeed.
And that's just one of three, man. We still got two more short stories.
In the words of you, tasty content.
And how?
I practice dentistry myself.
Brother. As long as it's under the plow, it don't matter what you need to do.
I was hoping John would have caught the reference, but
under the plow downtown. What?
I was actually just watching a Red Hot Chili Peppers music video before we started recording, and why did they look like Sgt. Pepper's era Beatles now? Like,
my condolences.
The Anthony Kiedis haircut is ridiculous at the present. I don't know what the heck's happening here, but
lack of drugs.
And Flea's missing a tooth like Marty Jannetty, so it's
bring back that paper tooth, man. There we go.
The tooth and nothing but the tooth. Remember the tooth.
Remember the tooth.
Remember the tooth. Well, I believe that is going to officially wrap this thing up, just like Jim's dead body. And so thank you all for being here for another stirring installment. If you have enjoyed what has transpired here, firstly, write your congressman. And secondarily, Michael has got some instructions for you.
Smash that like button right thereabouts here. Ring that bell. Leave a comment. Hit subscribe. Engage. Set phasers to engage.
Knew that was going to happen.
I wanted to say that for the last couple of weeks, and I kept forgetting.
Yes, indeed. And set the controls for the heart of the sun. But also, we have got new episodes of the podcast winging your way every marvelous Monday morning. We are usually here on Wednesdays for the tubes of you if you want to continue this nonsense with us going forward. And of course, you can find us on TikTok, where Courtney is making the magic happen. And I think that is going to cover everything. There's a link tree down below in the show notes that you'll be able to find all of these goodies. It's delightful. But we appreciate you all being here.
We appreciate you being here, and we
Beer.
appreciate you being here as well. So
Need to get the Hulk out of my mouth.
indeed.
Indeed.
Brother.
Yeah. So we thank you and appreciate you for being here as always. And that is going to bring us to an abrupt cessation, much like Hulk's matches. So I'm going to drop the leg for the Disinformed fan friction this week. I am still Kenton Eldorado.
I am Timothy Lone Cactus.
And I am Robert Greer.
I'm Jean Grey Ghost.
And zippity zoop, we're out of here.